You know, we'd love to have you here with us in Historic Studio D. We've got a seat waiting for you in the Delmarva Life audience. Be a part of the fun. Book your seat by visiting delmarvalife.com and clicking on the show tab, or call 443-880-9116. How many times have you heard the saying, if these walls could talk?
Well, at the Historical Society of Talbot County in Easton, the walls don't have to talk. They already tell quite the story of the past and the present. Brian Spiros visited the museum to find out what's inside.
If you stop and think about it, there are no two museums that are alike.
The vast majority of museums in the U.S. are small historical society museums. And in these little museums are treasures of American history.
Beth Hansen is the curator of the Historical Society of Talbot County, which runs this museum in downtown Easton.
The Historical Society was founded in the mid-1950s after the bridge opened. People wanted to preserve the area's history.
In the 1950s, this 1805 home was in danger of being torn down, so the Historical Society stepped in and saved it. They also saved several other homes in this area as the years went on.
You think in the 1950s, these buildings were only 60 years old. They weren't designed for electricity, for running water, for air conditioning, for central heat. So most people just wanted to tear them down and build something new.
The museum now takes up an entire block. There are a total of 3 historic homes. The interior of each looks just how it would have centuries ago. And then there's the main museum building. This is where you'll find the items and stories that reflect Talbot County history.
So we're not concerned so much with presidents and laws and battles. We're concerned with what was life like, and what were the towns here like, and what did people do, and what did people wear, and we just want to give you a breadth of feeling for what came before.
And for Beth, her main goal is to make sure the museum is not boring to both the young and old.
I want to show you things and tell little stories, pictures, illustrations, to give a spark and bring things alive for what it was like in the past.
And trust me, there's no shortage of stories bringing the past to life.
All right, Beth, so as the saying goes, a picture is worth 1,000 words. This picture here is certainly worth a conversation. Tell us about it.
This is Virginia Bartlett. Her family were among the wealthy landowners in early Talbot County history. This is her with 3 of her children. On the right is Jay Kemp, on the left is Helen, and on her lap is Howard. And I know people assume that's a girl on her lap, but that is a boy. They put all babies in dresses because it's much easier to change the diapers that way.
So pretty much everyone knows the name Francis Scott Key. He wrote the Star-Spangled Banner. He also wrote letters to Easton, some of which you guys have here. Why was he writing to the Eastern Shore?
He had a friend here. John Leeds Carr lived over here. And so when Mr. Key was in Annapolis studying law, he wrote some letters back to his friend. Now, this old handwriting's difficult to read. It's fun to see his actual signature, but we've got them typed up, transcribed for you, and you may be surprised by what Mr. Key reports he's doing in Annapolis.
The museum is also a place where people can come to find possible pictures of family or friends who once had roots in Talbot County. The reason? From 1920 to 1970, there was a well-known photographer in the area named H. Robbins Holliday. He took pictures of numerous events, both private and public.
So when he died, we got his life's work. We got about 50,000 photographs.
All right, so we are now in the front part of the museum. Tell us about this display right here.
This is very interesting. You know, after the Civil War, all of the African-American population of Talbot was freed, and people banded together in communities and formed lodges where they would pay a monthly dues into a fee that could be used to help members in times of need. And these items are from the Freedom's Friend Lodge in St. Michael's.
All right, so at first glance, people probably think this is just your ordinary trunk, but it's not. It's much more than that.
It is. During the 1950s, we had a Cold War with Russia, and we were afraid they were going to drop nuclear bombs on us, so we had bomb shelters all over. And this was a government-issued civil defense trunk to help you in case of nuclear attack. It had bandages and rubbing alcohol and eye and nose drops.
Stuff that probably wouldn't help you in the event of a nuclear attack.
Probably not.
The Historical Society of Talbot County is also setting its sights on the future.
We do what's called collecting for tomorrow, that in 100 years, someone will look at this photo and say, wow, there's a kid going to school the first day in 2013. And they'll find it fascinating.
Something Beth says is becoming more and more common with museums across the country. As a young child, Beth always had a fascination with history. And there's one commonality she says she notices when it comes to people and museums that so many of us are guilty of.
People go to museums when they're on vacation. And it's often on their list. When you go to this city, you're going to go see this art museum or this history museum or the natural history museum. And when you get home, oh, yeah, there's a museum around the corner from us. We should go there someday. Oh, well, today we have to go to Little League or shopping or whatever, and you never get around to going to the one around your own corner, which is kind of too bad because that's the one where you may learn about what is right around your corner or what was on your block 100 years ago.
After all, there's no history quite like the history in our own backyard.
Check that out. Now, all the items inside the museum have been donated or given to the Historical Society. If you do have pictures or letters from Talbot County that you would like to donate to the museum, you can. Your best bet is to contact them ahead of time.
Fascinating stuff to look at.
It is.
Absolutely fascinating. Well, still to come on Delmarva Life, the perfect cup of coffee starts with the perfect coffee beans. Lisa's going to take a look at what it takes to get fresh roasted beans.
But first, you still have time to get today's Delmarva Life Daily Deal. Today's deal, 67% off 3 laser hair reduction treatments from Attitudes Medi-Spa in Milford.
And don't forget, you can get the Daily Deal on DelmarvaLife.com or download the free Delmarva Life Daily Deal app for your iPhone, iPad, or Android, because now you can get all of our great deals right there in the palm of your hand.